So we are here with the NCAA Women's College Soccer Scores for Thursday, September 25th, 2025 here. So let's go talk about the game scores, the match scores for these soccer. So first, women's college soccer, let's go do it. Women's college soccer is a lot more popular than men's college soccer. Men's college soccer, there's more opportunities for men to play in overseas leagues and development leagues in the United States. Even if you just base it on the United States, like the USL, there's more USL leagues. USL leagues. You have the MLS leagues. You have a bunch of overseas leagues that players want to play in. They might go to. And they're top leagues. So you have a lot more of that, So players. So I think it's partially, is a reason why, main reasons why, more women's college suckers and more on the men's side. You don't have, people in professional academies earlier in their careers. So that type of thing. So yeah. But anyways, let's go talk about the scores. Lyon University 3-2 over St. Francis. St. Francis is still winless in the season at 0 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, and 7 losses. So the ESPN app is wins, draws, / ties in the middle, and losses. So Lyon University wins, goes to 4-3-2 with that 3-2 win. Long Island. Actually, a lot of these schools do midweek games. They get about 20 games in the college soccer season being 3 being 8 regular season being all since the 14th of August it was. And they have all of September, all of October. It's up to some schools do it where they play the last midweek, last Wednesday in October. Or the first, some smaller conferences do the first in September, in November, first Sunday in November, Saturday, Sunday, November, first or second, they will. And then they'll do November, and then they'll do West Coast Conference does it to where they do 8th of November. They don't do conference tournament action for any conferences, except for women's basketball, which all conferences do. Because that's their main sport. The money-making sport, or really money-making sport. And then we have Kent State 2-0 Massachusetts. George Mason 2-0 Richmond. Duquesne 1-0 George Washington. Fairleigh Dickinson 3-2 Bristol. Montgomery State tie at 1. Denver 1-0 North Dakota. Fort Morris 1-0 Richmond Mississippi. Western Michigan 1-0 Ohio. Northwest State blew up Purdue A&M. It was in the second half that was a blow up Purdue A&M. Northwest State did well in the first half, but Northwest Purdue A&M couldn't. Nothing won in the second half. They win. It's a 7-0 win. Northwest State Eastern 4-0 over Western Illinois. Buffalo 2 over Ball State. Central Connecticut gets their first win with a 1-0 win over Chicago State. Central Connecticut was 0-3-4 ending that one. They get the first win. Not a very high. At the minimum 1-0. Kentucky 1-0 over Green Bay. 1 loss for Kentucky, so they're only 1 loss in here. It's not bad. I'll see you in the featured match, 1-2 match against Auburn. That was the SC Network game. That was on the SC Network. And then there was a rain delay. It was a rain delay. that being a rain delay. But then LSU scored a goal after rain delay 3-1. But rain with only one loss in their 8 wins, 2 draws, loss. In Easton play over North Alabama, nothing. Scuffering 1-0, 6 wins, 5 draws, and loss. 1-0 over Syracuse. Central Michigan was looking for the first win of the season against They in the 9th game, they draw to a 1-1 tie. No wins, 2 draws, so losses. Minnesota State 2-1 over Cleveland State. Or 1-1 is Cleveland State, 1-1 is Cleveland State. I was looking at the Davidson State Manager score. Davidson was 2 over State Manager. That was a rain delay as well. Team 2-0 over Chicago. Game 1, Delaware State scores. Draw. Wake Forest number 2, Wake Forest 3-2 over Duke. Number 9 Duke. Wake Forest only won last year, 9 wins, 2 draws, loss. Tulsa and Florida 2-2 draw. 4-1 draw was 4-1 win over St. Joseph's. Howard 2-1 win over Wider. USC and NASC draw to 1-0. Wright State 3-2 over Indianapolis. Missouri State 1-0 over Jacksonville State. Baylor gives Kansas their first loss of the season. Kansas with 7 wins, 2 draws, and a loss. And no losses winning. But Kansas has 7 wins, 2 draws, and a loss now. Baylor has 5 wins, 2 draws, and a loss winning the match. Some just have different non-conference, like among games. When conference play, all the teams in conference play the same among games. They play 1 against every team in conference. Or it depends how many teams they have in conference. Like Big 12, Big 10, ECSC may not play every team. You might though, but every season, but you're only playing it 1 time. And that's Florida International 2-0 for Kansas State. We've got 2-0 over Miami. We've got double-digit wins in the season, 10 and 2 losses in there, no draws. Big East, E16 Big East draw to 12 game. Omaha 1-0 over Eastern Michigan. Omaha 1-0 over Northwest State. SMU 4-0 over Pittsburgh. Purdue 3-0 over Oregon. Queens 1-0 over Philadelphia Coast. LaSalle with a 1-0 win over a solid Long Island or a solid Rhode Island team. I bet. Listen. It was 1-0 Rhode Island. And then Southeast Missouri State 1-0. Or Southeast Missouri State had 10 losses on the year. They had 10 losses on the year. Went into the game. However, they did a draw against Little Rock at 1. That's their first non-loss of the season. So they're starting to turn things around here with that win. And I hope so for them. That's handling 1 loss, 7-2-1 in 10 games. They're 8-2 now. Race 1-0 over Temple. Number 25 race with only 1 loss, 8 wins, a draw, and a loss. Sales 2-1 over VCU. West Georgia 3-1 over Stetson. Drake Belmont 2-0 tie. TCU rate 10 TCU was 7-1 win match. Kansas was 5-2-1. So number 10 TCU with 1-0 win. Number 23 Ohio State Northwestern. They had 1 loss win that match, and they draw to a scoreless tie, which you kind of expected from 2 teams. Ohio State was 4 wins, 5 draws, and loss. Northwestern's 4 wins, 6 draws, and loss. Illinois with only 1 loss, they're 8-1 in their 10 games. They beat number 18 Penn State 4-3. I'm surprised Illinois isn't ranked, but they probably will be after that one. Washington and Indiana draw to the scoreless draw. Kind of an upset for Indiana's sake, because they're 3-3 draws for losses, which was 5 draws and losses. So, and Lamar 4-2 Houston Christian. Team run 4-2 and then win. Memphis unbeaten this season, 8 wins, 2 draws now, no losses in the rest 10 games, 3-0 win. And then we have Milwaukee Spider Michigan State Steals with a 2-1 win over Minnesota. Michigan State stole that one. Minnesota had the lead 1-0 in the first half. Then in the second half, early Michigan State took it. I watched it. Michigan State took the lead. And then Michigan State's leader in the second half scored a goal and stole it 2-1. Minnesota had the momentum. Michigan State just took away and kind of stole it in the second half. You can see it. Charlotte 3-2 over Texas. Akron and Red Right scores draw. Steve Austin lead took 2-0 draw. Tennessee Tech. SCR 2-0 draw. Neither team is the best of the season, but in record-wise, Tennessee Tech does now win 6 draws, 6 losses. So you can see Tennessee Tech, some of those losses, yeah, they turned into draws. Some of those draw wins followed the draws. At least it wasn't a loss. They kind of got snubbed. And another one, they could have actually got their first one of the season on, but neither team even got a goal scores. South Dakota State only one loss in the season. 6-3-1, now they're 7-3-1. 6-0 over St. Thomas, Minnesota. Or 7-1 over Red State. Nichols and 16 Christie. 2-1. Houston was 5-3. Texas Tech was 6-1. 6-1 or 7-1. My bad. 7 wins and a loss. Texas Tech 7 wins and a loss. Houston 6 wins, 3 draws. Draw. TSA maybe 1 draw. Indiana State Preto scores draw. Weber State 2-1 over East Washington. Number 2 Wisconsin 2-1 over Iowa. Number 8 Iowa. Number 1 Virginia. And wins a draw. Season now have 3-0 over Clemson. Michigan with 6 losses this season. They beat a Nebraska team. It was 5 wins, 5 draws. Unbeaten on the year. And they beat them 2-1. Wyoming Boise State scores draw. Corral 3-1 win over Iowa State. Idaho and Idaho State scores draw. Mexico at home 3-2 over Division 1 Duke. Colorado College new Division 1. They said they joined the West this year with a 3-2 win. Delaware only 1 loss win this season. It was 6-1 win that game. Mexico State was 1-9. And that's a kind of an upset for Delaware. Mexico State stole points at home. Stole a point at home. They both split the points. Split the 3 points in half. And if you're Delaware, you'll salvage the draw. You'll take a salvage draw. It's not a loss, but still feel like you should have taken the 3 points. When you kind of were expected to take the 3 points in that one, but you take the draw rather than over the loss. You at least salvage a point in the Conference USA standings. And that's what you do 3 points for a win, point for a draw. They don't do a point and a half for a draw. They do a point for a draw. And then no points for a loss. So, Delaware squeaks. So Delaware is salvage a draw, but in Mexico State won a draw. They get like Sacramento State 1-0 draw. And then we have Sacramento State with a 1-0 win over North Carolina. UC Santa Barbara and UC Davis. 1-1 draw. And Carl State, Utah State, 1-1 draw. Utah Valley, 5-0 win over Turson State. Liberty and UTEP split the points, 1-0. UTEP had a late lead. At home over Liberty. However, late in that match, Liberty stole a point, making it 1-0. So that was a nice steal of the points for UTEP. Or for Liberty, my bad. Liberty. So for Liberty, you literally take it because UTEP had the 3 points locked up. But then you stole a point. You'll gladly take it. You'll gladly take a steal of the points rather than a share of the points at 1. You'll gladly take a draw and get 1 point each rather than getting nothing. Getting lost of this. Arizona 1-0 over UCF. Arizona it was raining in Arizona, so UCF gave UCF an advantage, a little bit of momentum advantage, but it didn't matter. Arizona still came on top 1-0, and then Oklahoma State and Arizona State split the points. It goes a scoreless draw. Not winless draw, scoreless draw. Arizona State. You want to win. Is if you're Arizona State, you definitely want to win. And you definitely wanted to win in that one. However, a draw is better than a lot. You at least get a point out of that in the Big 12 standings for the Big 12 soccer tournament. In about a month, the Big 12 conference soccer tournament start like the end of that, like the Wednesday, Thursday in October, or maybe that first Sunday in November. But anyway, so Arizona State is still winless unbeaten this season. I said winless, still unbeaten this season. 8 wins, 2 draws, no losses. So that's awesome for them. Cal Poly will take a 2-0 win over UC San Diego. We have California State University Northridge. They take a 1-0 win over UC Irvine, which a must need to win for them in Big West play. They only had 2 wins in the season win this match, and they get their third. California Baptist 2-1 win over Abilene Christian with a late. It was on the whip run. That was a late goal scored with 30 seconds left. Well, they had a foul called on the box, just outside the box, on the goalie's left side net for the goalie. And it was a dangerous opportunity. And you thought if they got good luck, California Baptist, they could score a goal and steal this one late. And that's exactly it. 2-1 win over Abilene Christian. San Diego State 2-1 over Grand Canyon. Fresno State 3-0 over 1-7 Nevada. After that match, Stanford, number 3 in the country, they win 2-0 over Boston College. California State Fullerton defeats UC Riverside 3-0. UC Riverside is winless on the year at 0 wins, a draw, and 9 losses. California State University Fullerton is 8 wins and 2 draws in the season. So they do not have Cal State Fullerton does not have a loss in the season yet. Fullerton does not. So that's a huge win for Fullerton to keep them unbeaten in 10 games into the season. UNO at home over against San Jose State. They do a 2-1 draw. USC at home defeats Maryland 3-0. And number 4 UCLA defeats Rutgers at home 1-0. It's a tough test for Rutgers. Rutgers this year has the road trip out west to. Rutgers is in New Jersey, Skyway, New Jersey, and they're all the way from there traveling to Los Angeles, California. They'll play UCLA, and then they'll play USC in their next match a little bit later. So that's kind of hard, It's always hard to play those teams back to back. Not back to back days, but like you might be staying in there for a little bit. But it's always difficult, You have to travel to out west, especially from an East Coast team. All the way in New Jersey, you're traveling all the way to Los Angeles, That's a pretty long, that's like a long flight. Probably at least probably a 3-hour flight, I would assume. Maybe a layover, I don't know. But still, all these schools have private charters they use. They may have a deal with like a sponsorship with or a deal with this airline and this airline, or even for these small sports teams, if you fly them commercial, they maybe fly like commercial or first class or whatever. Still, you're getting still a long flight no matter how you look at it, So it's tough, They have to play UCLA on Thursday, then play USC on Sunday. So the midweek on the weekend game. Yeah, or that beginning week game Sunday, and then the midweek during the work, which is the midweek game, and Thursday. So tough. And there was supposed to be a game. It was Montana at Northern Arizona. However, that game was scheduled for 8. That game was scheduled for an 11 p.m. Eastern time start, 8 p.m. in Arizona. However, that game has been pushed back to Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. in Arizona.